I have chosen a bad time to start streaming. Good job, me. Hello. What's going on? It's your boy, Ezra33, welcoming you to the road to the Showdown once again. Tonight, we are entering, well, the beginning of the end. 2 more weeks of pure wrestling action for every single day. Starts tomorrow, and as week 2 ends tonight. We've got 4 big bouts on the docket, of which the first one sees Liv Morgan in the opening bout. The second one, taking on Mandy Rose, I should say. God, I have lost all skills at commentary. But we're in a chill evening today. We're going to take it slow. Just give a very impactful show. But yeah, let's run down the card quickly. Starting off, Mandy Rose versus Liv Morgan. A good old brawl there. We then move to probably my big matchup for today. It's Io Sky taking on Julia. It's an action-packed night of matches as well, as Jon Moxley takes on Shawn Michaels. And from there, our main event matchup of the week, the actual match of the week over Julia Io Sky. It's the cleaner Kenny Omega taking on the phenomenal AJ Styles. You don't want to miss it. As we say, 4 big bouts on the card. I'm stoked to be here, ready for it, but we've got an opening bout to go to. It's Liv Morgan taking on Mandy Rose. One can take away a big 3 points or 2. The other, 1 or nothing. And that is a story that we'll get to kind of talk about here during the match as to what the points mean in this division specifically. Because the Gold League, we know, has been very combative. And let's start talking about the points. If Mandy Rose wins, she joins several other women on 6 points. If Liv wins,
It's scheduled for one fall, making her way to the ring, representing the Judgment Day from Elmwood Park, New Jersey, Liv Morgan.
if Liv wins, firm control of the Gold League is in her hands. There's a lot of close people battling at the top of this division. And to be honest, ending out week 2 with 4 people all on the same amount of points would be nuts. But Liv looks ready as we welcome her opponent to the arena.
And her opponent from Yorktown Heights, New York, Mandy Rose.
Rose here tonight, coming in with realistically a decent bit of form. Round 3, she had a nice battle with Stephanie Vaquer to a losing effort. It was in round 1 where she actually picked up her victory over Chelsea Green, but many speculated it was an undeserved win. Green had her hands on the ropes, and that obviously should have meant the match continued on, but it's the referee's call, referee's discretion as to how a match ends. All our officials are unbiased, and at that stage, I'm surprised that the result we got was a Rose win, but tonight is certainly a time Mandy needs to bounce back and actually prove she deserves to be victorious. Going up against one of the favorites in the Gold League, she has to step up here if she is to realistically qualify to the Showdown, because after tonight, the amount of bouts that each star has goes down to 3. And Rose and Morgan, well, Rose more specifically, kind of needs it. She needs to step up here. Because bear in mind, what people fail to understand is the Showdown, you should have already knowledge of how to battle your opponent, as you will have faced them before. Round 1 is the quarterfinals. Top 4 from each division faces off against one another. It's first seed versus 4th, second versus 3rd. So if you basically win against all the top seeds, congrats, you probably have a good spot going into the quarters. If you lose, you can kind of recalculate your strategy heading into the live event. Now, obviously, after this run of form, these 4 weeks of action, stars will obviously know realistically who they will be facing at the live event. And bear in mind, we will obviously, if it comes down to it, we have to have tiebreakers. IPW management have actually made rules on the tiebreakers. Basically, it comes down to the amount of points, like in terms of victories that you've got. If it's all points basically by clean victories, as the code breaker comes through from Morgan's, we actually focus back on the match a little bit. If it's a count-out victory, you get less points, so obviously that matters in terms of result. They are weighted results as a whole. So Morgan taunting on the top rope. Mandy letting her have it. Cradle. Crucifix comes through from Rose, trying to sneak the victory. Cannot do so, but yeah, points like that matter. And essentially it comes down to a 1v1 record. As Rose, a cheeky Nando's kick, connects. So if Morgan and Rose end up on the same amount of points after all their matches, and they're tied 3rd and 4th, it's a pretty impactful thing, as they will need a tiebreaker. If their match ended in a draw, they would have to face each other. But if Rose wins this match, she gets the tiebreaker advantage over Morgan. And that would be it. We'd not have to have a second match as the Oblivion comes through. IPW management basically saying, minimize the threat of injury. Allow stars to only have an extra match if they require it purely based on points. Win-loss record matters a lot in this tournament. And this is why, as we see every match unfold, we talk about just getting the dub. As winning just means that it's better for you. Now, as we turn our attention to this match in particular, we start to look at just what each potential wrestler brings in each division. Liv, she is a firecracker, to say the least. The offense that she has brought in this tournament has just been pure aggression as another Oblivion comes through. Somehow Rose kicks out. Morgan frustrated that Rose is able to kick out of that. Drops the elbow. Morgan was busted open. I didn't notice it while this match was going on. I was kind of looking closely at the scorecard as to how things have happened. In my mind, this tournament it's been impressive from all the matches as Morgan gets hit with the knee, Rose into the pin. Kick out at 2. Liv fighting off Rose's grasp. Gets back to a vertical base. Cuts off Rose from going for a comeback, it seemed. And I think this might be the demise of Mandy. The third Oblivion of the match. And she should be down and out of it. Morgan advances up to 9. And that's control of the gold division. After yesterday, Rhea Ripley failed to get up to first place on 8, but it wouldn't have mattered. Morgan now stands atop, stands tall. She's been perfect in this tournament. And arguably a very potent threat. No one's been able to deal with her. And this match, let's be honest, we didn't really talk about the offense. It was just a clinical dissection by Liv to deal with Mandy's offense. And yet again, it's another match where Rose unable to showcase the prowess that she has to win that turmoil match. And now, falls short yet again against another top star.
Here is your winner, Liv Morgan.
Once again, congratulations to Liv, who cements realistically herself atop of this division and favorite going into the showdown in the Gold League. Can she keep the form going forward for the last 3 weeks, or will she falter? That is a difficult story to tell. Speaking of difficult stories, the Teal League is now on full display to round out week 2 as 2 GOATs of Japanese wrestling, both Stardom legends, going to battle here tonight as Julia, the beautiful chaos that she is, takes on the genius of the sky, Io Sky. Who will bring home the dub? We'll get into it right now, and getting into it right now, we can discuss just how crazy this division is as we load into the arena. The Teal League, let's discuss it. It's getting close at the top of the standings. 3 women sitting on 9 points. This is the most points in a division split among members of it.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring from Tokyo, Japan, Julia.
Tonight, one of these women will go up to either 6 or 5 points. or 4 technically in a draw, but the beautiful madness, beautiful chaos, whatever you want to call her, Julia, she brings such interesting, innovative offense to the game, and she's here to lay claim to a top 4 spot against a woman who's been realistically a figurehead in Japanese wrestling for many years. Certainly a pioneer in North America for Japanese women's wrestling. And with arguably one of the coolest entrances in the game. The Wub Wubs begin as Io Sky makes her presence known.
Representing Damage Control from Tokyo, Japan, Io Sky.
Sky here tonight, looking to get on a bit of a steamroll in the Teal League. Last time out, well, she lost in emphatic fashion to a woman who now sits atop of the division in Natalia. And at that point, we considered it a shock that Natalia beat Io. The champion somehow showed up to cement a solid performance against her. And that record kind of, I did not expect to maintain in terms of Natalia, as she obviously beat Michelle McCool just yesterday. Tonight, coming into this, Io just needs to get going after her only win being night 1 of the tournament against Lyra Valkyria. Julia hasn't really had, well, has had a very similar path in terms of that scoreline. Her only win coming week 1 against Jasmine Nix. So both these women beating arguably the weakest stars in this division. We need really a bounce back here for both of them to go on that run towards the Showdown. But both these women, clever, calculated with their offense. Io and Julia know each other probably for many a years, and just bring such unique styles, as Julia overpowering Io into the ropes. Our referee, Gregathy, calls for the break, but Julia doesn't give it clean. A couple of punches and then another tie-up here, as the beautiful chaos, beautiful menace, whatever, applying the wrist lock, turns it around, takes the back of Sky. The pressure being cemented here. Very, very potent. As Julia wrenching back on the arm. Io caught, legs picked, and then sent a running again. A big boot from Julia, who goes for the pin. It's a quick kick out from Sky, but as it stands, this tournament for the Teal League it's ramping up. As mentioned, it's the division that sees the most points at the top of the table, where there's clear dominance from certain stars, like from a lot of stars, that you really think that, well, it's cemented as to the top 3. 4th spot is very much up in the air. You know, tonight, one of these 2 women will take that 4th spot. There's no ifs or buts. One's going to get past the 3-point marker. And that's really all that's needed to get to a top 4 here in this Teal League. The issue is, for them. The opponent that you get in round 1, if they're all staying very close at the top of the division, you have no clue who to prepare for. You could be, in fact, facing the world champ, or maybe even a television champ in the opening round. There's no clear-cut favorite in this division. As Io misses with the leg drop there. Julia picks up Io onto her shoulders. Gun stun on the ropes. Oh my word, that looked like a gator roll more than anything, but not around the head, just the leg. It looked very awkward as Julia, lining up Io, comes charging in with the big boot. Sky brought to her feet. Julia dragging her into the corner. Puts her on the top rope. This is weird territory to be seeing Julia in. More of a grounded wrestler. She does the deal. The Falcon Arrow off the top rope. Io no selling it. Back to her feet. Drop kicking Julia and now playing the tempo. Just a fuck buster. Dropping Julia center of the ring. Io lining her up here. Maybe for a big time maneuver. Snap German. And Julia rolling to the outside. But Io following maybe as she goes up top. Caught with a punch. Returns the favor with that kind of rubber banding back. Cold stones across that top rope. Both these women giving it their all here. Julia in trouble as the Meteora comes through from Io. Sky rolls back into the ring after that one. We're up to a 3 count. Io comes back out. Grabs a hold of the waist of Julia and just deadlift Germans her. Julia no selling, but can't capitalize off of it. Io brings it back into the ring. Trying to connect. Manages to do so. Electric chair position for Julia. Brought up and down with a German. A lot of German suplexes out from Io Sky. And it's surprising to see from her. Realistically, one of the smallest stars in this competition, utilizing that maneuver perfectly against larger foes. But that knee, it's effective offense from Julia, as she could have knocked out Io, but Io says, nah, fam, and kicks out at 2. The crowd realizing how impactful this match is. Io takes out the legs from Julia, heads back up top. The drop zone is not filled, and Io connects with that moonsault press. The Genius of Sky almost victorious. As Julia forced to roll quickly that shoulder off the mat. Io plants her again. Koji clutch locked in. Julia close to the ropes. Actually, the rope break called. Referee Gregathy eyes cleanly on it. The deadlift German comes through once again. Julia just being manhandled or woman-handled, whatever you want to call it. As she finds a reprieve maybe here. Comes through with a running knee. Dropping Sky. Shot trying to be thrown, but it's caught. Io sends Julia into Gregathy's lap. Can't capitalize and get her into the corner. Instead, now Julia does the deal. Io no selling. No one wants to take that Falcon Arrow. The headbutt. Oh my word. Julia just connecting cleanly with it. And now hooking up Io, powerbomb position. Brings her straight down, crumples her up into the pin. And it's a 1 count. Io Sky resilient. She's staying alive in this tournament. Fights off Julia's grasp. Brings it down, Hurricane Rana. Big time drop kick there from Io. As we move the camera to get a better view. Julia. Stuck in the corner. Io comes running in. Handspring up and down, but batted off there by Julia. Grabs a hold of Io. Io now turns it around. Almost a variation of the white noise from Sheamus. Now Io lining Julia up. Grabs a hold of her. Plants her down the flatliner into the Koji clutch. Locked in deep. Will Julia tap? Yes, she does. And Io takes home 3 points. Great performance here. It was a showcase of Japanese wrestling at its finest. Both women gave it their all, but only one walks away victorious. And as you can hear, the Wub Wubs are playing. It's Io Sky taking home the W. And this match, realistically, is a good testament, I would say, to reaffirming Io's form in this tournament. She's able to beat Julia. The rest of the bout should be a little bit easier for her. Io's had some of the most difficult bouts already in this tournament. But next week, she'll go on to face Roxanne Perez. She'll go on to face Roxanne Perez and then Michelle McCool. That's a hard back-to-back evening for Io. And then from there, she rounds out the tournament with Jasmine Nix. So the run of form, a little bit harder for Io. But she's still in a good spot here in this tournament. Speaking of good spots, it's Pink League time here on the run to the Showdown. Michelle McCool. Shawn Michaels. Jon Moxley. Third bout of the afternoon, I guess you could say. An early start for the show. And the Pink League kind of highlighted each league tonight in terms of what they're bringing. The Pink League is our sporadic league. There's a clear-cut favorite right now. And we won't see him competing until, I believe, tomorrow. Yeah, he's in the main event tomorrow, but we'll talk about him soon. But this league is starting to find itself. People are starting to get going with their form of offense. But regardless of that, let's get into the co-main event of the evening. It's Jon Moxley taking on Shawn Michaels. And it's right now. Tonight, Michaels bringing back an old-fashioned look.
The follower is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring from San Antonio, Texas, weighing in at 227 pounds, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
Tonight, Shawn Michaels channeling his old heartbreak self as he's looking to go up to 9 points to tie himself up at the top of the division. Roman Reigns currently on that point, has a chance to obviously extend the lead tomorrow and go up to 12, the first person in the men's side to potentially go to that. Meanwhile, Michaels' opponent also has that same potential, but he can only muster 8 points. So he will still be in second after tonight if he's able to win. But we will have to see as we welcome Jon Moxley into the arena.
And his opponent from Cincinnati, Ohio, weighing in at 225 pounds, Jon Moxley.
It's interesting to see him walk out from the cage of the underground, as he should realistically with his lunatic self be locked up. Tonight, Moxley's here to prove himself even further. Try and get into the title frame, the title picture in IPW. It's been closed off for many many months, as the top stars have kind of just been fighting one another. Moxley watching on, trying to get into the picture frame. Tonight has a chance to take down one of them top stars that's been hogging all the glory in Shawn Michaels. We will have to see. There's a crowd behind Shawn here tonight. We're underway with this co-main event. Moxley and Michaels tie up. Shawn overpowering Jon into the corner. They tie up again. Collar and elbow. This time Jon getting the better of Michaels with this wrist lock applied. Keeping the pressure on. Wrenches through once again. Just working the arm. Great effectiveness here is Moxley, who we know his run in this tournament's been pretty interesting. Having lost to Roman Reigns a couple weeks ago. Well, in the end of week 1, I should say. Granted, that loss really should not have happened. It was hands on the ropes. Yet again, it's the second star we're talking about tonight where they had a match where their hand was on the rope. But still, Roman was victorious in that one. Moxley, unfortunate. But since then, Mox has been relatively perfect. His opening bout in the tournament was a pretty emphatic win. A 2-1 count-out victory over Kurt Angle. And then after that, last outing, he faced off against Gunther and took the big-time victory against him. And we saw, obviously, yesterday, how emphatic Gunther is when he gets to compete. He destroyed Jacob Fatu in that matchup. So, as a whole, we're seeing two stars that both have 2 victories to their name. Obviously through different means. But this right here is a good testament to seeing who gets the go-ahead, who deserves to be at the road to, well, at the Showdown more than anything. Because we're currently on the road to it. With Michaels last time out victorious against a foe he's faced several times over. Another champion that's hogged all the glory in Will Ospreay for many a month. That result was emphatically massive for Michaels, picking up the victory there. As we focus in on this match, Moxley firing up here. The 2K comeback, off the corner he goes, through with the lariat and brings him down with the bulldog. That signature offense from Moxley, who's lining up Michaels, curb stomping him to the ground. Goes for the pin here. 1, 2. No, not the dub just yet. Michaels quickly to his feet, trying to capitalize on a slow Moxley. Power slam out. It's become a signature offense in the road to the Showdown. We get one at least once a show now. Michaels playing a bit dirty here. Remember DQ? Victory is still 3 points to the opponent. It's cheap victories as Moxley has the rear naked choke locked in. Michaels breaking the grasp. Gets out the holders. Referee reapplying that top turnbuckle. Michaels coming through with the combination. Picks the ankles, steps over the back of Moxley. The dashing good looks and the stare down. Just confident as ever is Michaels here tonight. But John's been working him over. Into the pin he goes. The 2 count. Obviously still feeling the effects of that rear naked choke. As Moxley begins to ground and pound his opponent. Michaels back to his feet. Sent into the top turnbuckle that was just replaced. Flying in comes Moxley. Missing, falling short as Michaels unloads a big shot. Taking it back here, Mox. Nice suplex from Michaels. He's lining up Moxley again. Picks him up. Ball driver. Plants him. The jarred neck of Moxley rattled as a 2 count comes through from Michaels. Both men giving it their all here tonight as John kicking out, the wacky lariat connecting, drops the elbow on the heart of the Heartbreak Kid. Michaels fighting back, comes through, spinning European uppercut. Remember, former European champion is Shawn Michaels, so he knows all about that style of offense. Mox drops the elbow onto the ankle and just beating it up profusely. Keeping Michaels at bay here is Mox. This is what he needs to do as he's finally busted open Shawn Michaels. It feels like every match Moxley's been in, someone has busted open. As what's this? Tama making his presence known in the underground. A surprising figure. Michaels, a chop block, takes out the leg from underneath Moxley, and he's lining him up for the Sweet Chin Music. Connecting on the jaw. Dotted perfectly, but no. Somehow the distraction and then the Sweet Chin Music isn't enough to put away John Moxley. Mox still fighting with all he's got. But how much is left in the tank as Michaels heads up top? Could be looking to drop the elbow. No, he's not. Change of plans maybe. Comes through with the lariat, but it's caught into the power slam. And Moxley looking to end it maybe. No, the uppercut through the sweet chin music from out of nowhere. And Michaels is into the pin for the win. Statement made. Michaels employing distraction techniques to beat his opponents. And what does that hold as Tama, we've never seen before in IPW, just coming out, helping Michaels. A surprising affair there. But the results column says 3 points in the favor of Shawn Michaels, tying himself up atop of the division. Roman obviously has the chance tomorrow to go one step beyond 9, up to 12, and keep his perfect form in this tournament. Can he do that? We'll find out, obviously, in his bout tomorrow, but right now we are kind of reveling in the victory of Shawn Michaels as we prepare for the main event tonight. Our matchup of the week. Feels good to say that, as I haven't said that in many a moon ever since the Anarchy analysis happened. But yes, the bout is over. As are the replays.
The Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
We look now forward to the main event. It's a Bullet Club battle, a Bullet Club brawl. It's Kenny Omega looks to take on AJ Styles, the Phenomenal One, versus the Cleaner. Who takes the dub? We will find out. Our main event is set. We'll get to talking about the Green League and just how interesting it is. Because the Green League, like every other league, has put on some epic bouts. And tonight we have the potential of someone going up to 12 points and firm control of this division. That man is obviously Kenny Omega. Currently sitting on 9. The Cleaner has been emphatic with how he's utilized his offense to take away big-time victories. And tonight, he has a chance to take probably the biggest in the tournament. It's the Battle of the Bullet Club. The second one in the runnings, I should say, of 3.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring from Gainesville, Georgia, weighing in at 218 pounds, the phenomenal AJ Styles.
Night 1 of the tournament, we saw the original Bullet Club brawl as the Demon defeated AJ in an epic clash in our co-main event. This is the second, as we say, of 3 Bullet Club brawls in this tournament. And this is probably the most important one, as AJ Styles was usurped as leader of the Bullet Club by Kenny Omega, and it was the Elite that took him out of New Japan. AJ had nothing really, from what we could tell, to do with how Balor exited.
Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, weighing in at 224 pounds, Kenny Omega!
It was the Young Bucks. The signature super kick spelt the end of the tenure of both Finn and AJ's careers in New Japan. Kenny also involved in that moment to end AJ's reign as leader of the Bullet Club. And since then, both men went on different trajectories of their career. Styles, leader of the OC, became a main event threat in WWE, claiming championships left, right, and center in his first year. He was a very solid star. Meanwhile, the Cleaner went to and formed AEW, becoming their EVP and then not their inaugural champion, but one of the first. In fact, he was the third champ, I believe, in AEW. Both World Heavyweight Champions in their own respective rights. Both New Japan Heavyweight Champions. With different trajectories has gone on, they've both shared relatively similar paths. Now, their offense, very similar as to what they can do. And it's surprising we're actually seeing submission offense out from Kenny here. Styles fights out of his grasp. Collar and elbow tie up once again here in our main event. AJ pushing Omega into the corner. Clean break. Actually a very clean break as Kenny picks up Styles. A nice suplex there. Just bringing Styles to the mat. And as we've seen throughout this tournament, it's from Kenny, more specifically, is how he's utilized his one-winged angel. He has caught people off guard with that position in the electric chair. Either going straight driven down with the one-winged angel, which obviously targets the neck and top part of the spine of the opponent. He's also utilized head and neck maneuvers from that position in terms of German suplexes. Stalling Germans, I should say. It's what was utilized in his last victory here on the run to the Showdown. That very potent suplex victory over CM Punk. Only 2 days ago now, jeez. AJ obviously had a little bit longer of a break between matches compared to Kenny. His last match was against The Rock the night before. Half an hour suplex locked in there. Mega not able to connect it as Styles gets pushed down. And this is also something we expected when these two men battled. Knowing each other so well. AJ kind of mentoring Omega in the Bullet Club as there we go, the calf crusher. Locked in that calf killer, I should say. Styles, though, keeping the pressure on. He knows he needs to keep up the pace. Phenomenal forearm, just Omega walking away from it. Not even dodging. He just steps back and Styles misses. That's just cockiness out from Omega. He misses the splash in the corner. Styles hooking up Kenny up into the powerbomb position. May have been thinking for the Styles clash, but Kenny not going to allow it. Instead hits it with a dropkick and another. Will he make it 3? No, he doesn't. It's instead a crossbody. The Cleaner hooking up Styles. The big knee caught. No V-trigger or Yeah, V-trigger there from Omega just yet. Instead, Hangman's neckbreaker brings down the cleaner from the high heights. A vicious combination in from AJ as he comes through with a lariat to finish it off. Both men, as we say, know each other so well. Styles, the elder to Kenny, trained him during his Bullet Club days. And Omega, utilizing that training to great effect here tonight, battling, but he can't capitalize off of it. AJ, he knows what Kenny wants. Cannot get it as Styles caught in the corner. Both men putting each other in the corner and both charging in. Neither man connecting. Kenny and AJ just reversal after reversal. Someone has to get the better of the other. Pop up. Styles clash inbound. AJ connecting and busting open Omega. Into the pin he goes. And a 2-count kick out for the cleaner. AJ maintaining the pressure after the kick out as well. Bringing Kenny in the corner. Up and over. Brings him down. I thought maybe he could have gone for the pin there. Instead, opting to just roll through. And now comes charging in. Connecting with a forearm. Strikes are potent here from AJ. He's got a lot to do as he's going for it again. The calf crusher in tight. Locked in. Kenny in trouble. Feeling the pressure of it. Omega, will he tap? And he does. Styles victorious. And he's finally broken his goose egg in the tournament. And he does it against Omega. Kenny fails to make it to 12. As Styles just shows he is the better leader of the Bullet Club. And if this win-loss triangle is correct, Balor should beat... no, it should be Omega who beats Balor. We will have to wait for that bout. As that one, the Demon versus Omega, isn't until... next week. Sorry, the week after, I should say.
Here is your winner, the phenomenal AJ Styles.
We won't see that until round 7, our final week of action. That's going to be epic. But yes, tonight, Styles victorious over Omega. And we move now to talk about tomorrow's bouts. Week 3 begins with some pretty epic bouts as Fallon frickin' Henley fights Lyra Valkyria. We've seen many stars failing to get up to 12. Will Fallon be another of them names that cannot get the job done? Or will she be the first person in the tournament up to 12 points? That's the story of that one. From there, we move to the Gold League. Nia Jax, Chelsea Green. Who will win? Nia needs it to keep up the pace with Liv Morgan atop of the division. If Green wins, she ties up with a couple of other women and makes this Gold League a lot closer than expected. After that, The Rock, another chance to go up to 12 points. He takes on the Demon, Finn Balor. Only one man can obviously do good here. As if The Rock wins, he's on 12. If the Demon wins, he's on 10. That's the first person to break. This is battle basically to guarantee someone breaking the 10-point mark. if Fallon doesn't do it. And finally, the main event, the creme de la creme of the evening, Reigns, if he's successful, will go to 12 points. If Angle wins, then we've got a whole different story on the board. He goes to 4. And that makes this a lot closer at the bottom of the scorings. But yes, an epic night of action ahead of us tomorrow. 6:30 start-ish. Depends when I get home. But yes, I hope you enjoyed today's action. A lot closer than expected. And I will see you tomorrow for 4 epic bouts where we get to talk about Fallon Henley again. You don't want to miss it.